Hello, boys and girls. Mrs. Blackburn here today for today's lesson. Our learning goal. Students will learn to spell multisyllable words that contain double consonants. The success criteria. I can successfully pronounce and spell high-frequency words. So let's go ahead and begin. I have a passage here, and what we're going to look at is we are going to look and kind of go on a hunt in this passage for words that may be misspelled. Okay? So let's go ahead. Tomas pulled his kayak to the edge of the lake. He was excited to try the new fishing hole that his uncle had suggested. All right, let's look at this word suggested. May look kind of funny to you. You may be thinking, I know the word is spelled incorrectly. So how do we know the word is spelled incorrectly? Well, you may be thinking, it's spelled incorrectly. I know it's not shaped correctly. And that goes along with the other lesson that we did yesterday. We notice with words, especially words that are used frequently in our language, when we write and when we read, that we notice the shape of these words. We notice that when we say them, we are listening for certain sounds. Suggested, suggested. I hear two G's in the middle, and I know G's don't always make the same sound. Suggested. Sometimes G's can make a G sound, and sometimes they can make a J sound, like J. Suggested. Oftentimes words have a double consonant in the middle. And I'm kind of thinking that this word looks too short. So I know one way that I can double check and make sure that something looks right is just to write it down. Oftentimes, if I'm not really sure, I'll just write down the way that I think that it might be spelled and see if it looks right to me. So I'm kind of thinking that suggested may have two G's in the middle. Suggested. Okay, and then I'm going to look at that and think, suggested. Does that look right to me? That looks lots better. It just looks better than the first suggested. The first suggested that's on this in this story doesn't look right to me at all. So I'm going to think that that's probably the way that I spell it. The other thing that we can do is go back to the other strategy that we talked about last week. The other strategy was to think about other words that would begin with the same beginning or the same ending. Okay? So let's go on and see if we see any other words that don't look like they're spelled correctly. I don't think it's necessary to wear my life jacket since the lake's so calm, he thought to himself. Okay, did you spot any other words that just don't look right? Don't think it's necessary to wear my life jacket since the lake's so calm, he thought to himself. I agree. I don't think necessary looks correct. I think that it looks a little funny to me as well. There's something missing. Necessary. I can hear 3 syllables in that word. Necessary. Necessary. I can hear 4 syllables in that. Necessary. Hear more syllables than that. So I'm thinking necessary. Necessary. I'm thinking that I need to write that the way that I think that that could be spelled and see if I can make that look better to me. I know a C can also make an S sound, and I know these are high frequency words. And I know that in our lesson yesterday, we had a lot of C's that sounded like S's. So I'm going to leave my C there. I know oftentimes ESS is in a word that's spelling like less. That's L-E-S-S, or mess, M-E-S-S, or confess, F-C-O-N-F-E-S-S. So maybe this is also E-S-S in the middle, and that's why it looks funny to me, because there's only one S after that E. N-E-C-E-S-S-A-R-Y. Necessary. Oh, wow, that looks much better to me. Necessary. Necessary. Yes, I believe that's the way that it should be spelled. Very good. Okay, so let's go on with the story and see if we can find anything else that's misspelled. As he loaded his fishing gear into the kayak, the wind began to pick up and the sky began to darken. Actually, maybe that life jacket is a good idea after all, he thought. Okay, are you seeing any other words that you think just don't look right? Okay. Actually, I think actually doesn't look right to me. So let's highlight the word actually. 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 Well, let's think of the root word or base word. We have actual, which is A-C-T-U-A-L, and then we have the suffix "ly" that's added to that. Actually. So I'm thinking that it probably should have another L there. Actually. A-C-T-U-A-L is the root word or base word. Then they added the suffix ly to it. So actually looks much better like that. Actually. Okay. All right. Let's go on. Immediately, he strapped on his life jacket thinking, better safe than sorry. Well, I would agree with him there. Better safe than sorry. Did you find that last misspelled word? Thinking. Okay. I'm thinking immediately does not look right to me. Immediately. When I say immediately. Immediately. We hear several syllables there, don't we? Immediately. So I'm thinking that we need a double consonant again. Are you seeing that there's lots of double consonants that we've missed with the spellings here? Yes. Okay. So let's try I, M, E, D, I, A, T, E, L, Y. How does that look? Immediately. Try and read it after we write it. Immediately. Well, that sounds right and that looks right to me. So let's go back and look and see the changes we made and see if they still look right. Suggested. When I say that and I stretch it out, it looks right that way I say it. Suggested. It matches the syllables the way I say it if I pronounce it the way it's spelled. Okay. Necessary. Yes, I like that one for sure. Actually. Good. Immediately. Yes, definitely can stretch that one out as well. So it looks like that a common way to misspell some of these high frequency words is to, when they're multisyllable, to not have that double consonant in there. So we need to make sure that we are paying attention to the way these words look with their spelling. They have double consonants there in the middle, and that they often do not drop that consonant there when adding ly to the end. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your activity that you'll be doing in Nearpod. It will look exactly like this. I placed this in Nearpod for you because on Nearpod you can draw and write on them. Some of you may be familiar with crosswords and some of you may not. The questions 3, 5, and 8 go across. So you can see on the crossword, 3 goes across, 5 goes across, and 8 goes across. And then the questions 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 are in the down column here. So those are the questions that you will write your answers in going down. So let's look at the first one. And we'll do the first one together, so you'll have an answer for one of yours. You shouldn't miss that one if you're watching the videos. 3 across says, I did not know how to approach the problem. Okay, so there is a misspelled word in the crossword. Every single one of your questions has a misspelled word. So I'm going to highlight it. What do you think it is? You see any words that just do not look right to you? I did not know how to approach the problem. If you are thinking the word is approach, you are right. So let's highlight that one. Okay, highlight the word approach and let's think. I did not know how to approach the problem. Now, going along with what we've learned in this lesson, we know multisyllable words are often misspelled because they forgot to do what? Double the consonant. Right. So glad you're thinking. So let's see if it looks right if we put A, P, P, R, O, A, C, H. Because it's just a good practice to write it and test it above it and see if that looks right. If it doesn't look right, then we probably need to try and write it a different way. Does that look right to you? Okay, if it looks right, now here's the final test. We're going to see if 3 across fits in 3 across in the boxes. If it does, then we're probably right. A, P, P, R, O, A, C, H. So you'll write A, P, P, R, O, A, C, H. Now, the great thing about crossword puzzles is if you get them correct, guess what? You already have the first letter to the answer of 4 going down. But you have to spell it right. If you spelled anything wrong, guess what? That's going to mess up the answers to 3 across and 5 across, right? So you may have to make some changes there. So that's good because you'll be in Nearpod and you'll have the eraser. So if everything goes perfectly and you get everything right, then all of your letters will match up on the across and down. And if not, then they won't, and that's okay. You'll just need to erase and try again. But that's okay. That's trial and error. No one's perfect the first time we do it. That's why we keep trying, right? You're not expected to know everything at first. So that's what you'll be doing for your apply and assess lesson today. Make your teachers proud, do your very best, and we can't wait to see how well you do with the lesson. I will see you later and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, boys and girls.